Hey guys, it's me Jennifer, and I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a crafting project for Diamond, my 1967 Plymouth Fury VIP. Now, one of the things I like to do with Diamond is take her to car shows, especially like cars and coffee events. And I also just like to drive her around, of course. Unfortunately, I don't have a place to really put things like my wallet, a travel mug, or Starbucks cup, whatever. Right now, I want to go ahead and craft up a center console. So I have a bunch of cardboard. I have these electric scissor things that will be really helpful for cutting the cardboard. And of course, some painter's tape and a Sharpie so that I can put things together. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start out by trying to make up the side profile for the console. I haven't quite determined if I want to do it all the way from the bottom of the dash or if I want to do just like maybe halfway up the transmission hump. So we'll find out. So let's see how this can go. I'm going to go ahead. I have a cardboard box that I cut in half already, so I'm just going to go ahead just so I can easily use this, cut it in half again. And I'm just going to, actually I wonder if I can just, that would be good enough, honestly. Because I honestly don't want to block the floor air vent controls, which are down here below the dash. If I can keep from doing that, that'll be great. So let's see what I can do here. Literally, that might be good enough. And if I can bend the sides to go around the transmission tunnel, that would work. This is actually going to be a lot easier than I thought, but isn't it? And I might be able to put the cup holders, which I have already bought on Amazon, maybe side by side, but at least there will be enough room to have the bottom of the cup holder so they're not bottoming out on the transmission tunnel itself. So what I think I'm going to go ahead and do is just kind of tape up the sides so that they hold that shape, and then I will figure out the front and back of the console where it comes up against the seat and where it's towards the front. And that's not bad. It kind of actually works. So there's not as much cutting and stuff as I thought there would be. So now I'm going to go ahead and figure out the front and the back of the console and figure out those shapes so that we can have a full center console. I'm going to have a really fun time trying to figure out this little spot though where it's bent in the corner, especially since this will be made out of plywood. So that part could get a little bit interesting. So this is what it looks like outside of the car. Right where the top of the transmission tunnel is, I went ahead and put another piece of tape. I just kind of like laid it sort of kind of on top of that area, just so I have like a general idea of where I need to have some space for the tunnel. So I went ahead and cut off another piece of the cardboard, and I'm going to go ahead and trace out the sides and then kind of figure out like a semicircle shape just for the transmission tunnel side. Okay. Okay, so there's the side. This is the bottom, or I guess the top of the transmission tunnel. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting away some cardboard just so I can get that semicircle shape. I also probably could figure out the middle point, and I forgot my ruler or tape measure, so I'm going to see if I can use the Apple app to find the center point. Okay, so that's 11.5. It's about there. All right, so I have a starting point. It's not the prettiest, but we'll see how it fits and then keep fine tuning it. And you can see it doesn't quite fit down like I want it to. So I'm definitely going to have to take some kind of diagonal off these corners and start getting a little bit closer to this tape line. Getting a bit closer. It's actually almost touching where that tape line was, so a little bit more trimming and we should be good to go on this side. Okay, so that's probably as good as that side's going to get. I did make a note to make this little area 1/2 inch tighter because there's a little bit of a gap. So I will do that at home where it's nice and cool because it's still really humid out here. And I'm going to go ahead and fiddle with the back side of the console. I shouldn't need too much cardboard for the back side just because of how much taller it is back there. So I'm trying to line up the back side. You can see how much piece of cardboard sticks out when I place it on the tunnel. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half lengthwise and then also trim up the sides so that they're not super crazy long. Cut me a couple of pieces of the smaller cardboard remnants and see if that will fill in the gaps enough. I might just literally place them in there like this and just work with that. Okay, so this is a rough draft of the back side. I'm of course going to take this home and then maybe tomorrow make a little bit of a better template that's a little bit cleaner, just so I have something really good to work from when I start cutting the plywood, which I still have to buy. I'm planning on using the 1/2 inch plywood just for the sturdiness of it. That may change, I'm not sure. Depends on availability also. I wouldn't mind getting those handy sheets that are like the 2 foot by 4 foot plywood. But this so far I think is a really good start. Okay, so it's a few days later. I've been working behind the scenes kind of on this. So what I've done is cut out all of the pieces using the cardboard templates that I've made. And I went ahead and glued the pieces together and nailed in some brads. So this is where I am today. I also did a little test fit to make sure that everything worked fine, and I sanded down stuff. So I also behind the scenes went ahead and sewed together a cover for this. So this has like all of the cutouts that you can see for the cup holders and stuff, and then like as well as a cutout for a tray. Basically this is just faux leather. I got this at Joann's before they closed down. You might be able to get it at Michael's now that they kind of absorbed everything from Joann's because they're the same company. This was not a very precise measuring thing. I just basically like put down the fabric on the floor, rolled this over to figure out how much I needed. You can see like a bunch of markings are for where corners are or seam lines, things like that. So what I'm going to do today is go ahead and finish this project up. I have some 3M spray adhesive that I'm going to use to help attach this onto the plywood, and then I'll staple the edges as well. And then I also have a couple of metal cup holders plus a plastic tray that I designed myself in a 3D software and had my wonderful husband printed out on the 3D printer for me. So we'll go ahead and get this thing going. All right, so let's see how we can do this. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this right side out. Make sure my corners are correct and not like rounded or anything. I was going to do like a quilt batting on top, which is just like a kind of a foamy, cottony, whatever material that quilters use to add that like cushiony feeling to quilts. And I don't think I allowed enough fabric for that this time, so we're going to skip that. Just gonna spray this on. Maybe this way. Oops. I'm also going to spray it. I shouldn't have turned this inside out. Spray it a little on the inside of this. I'm going to get gloves so that I don't spray it on me. There we go. Probably don't want to get it too much on the outside of this, but I think that's kind of inevitable at this step. It doesn't seem to take too long to dry till tacky, which is really nice. I hope it's easy to maneuver once I get it on there though, just so I can line it up properly. It's pretty sticky. I wonder if it would have been better to do this in sections. Might have been smart. Okay, you can see I got them on pretty good. Did get a little bit of stuff in that corner, but hopefully it can wipe off somehow. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the sides. It's humid in this garage. I also wonder how this is going to be when I try to do like the last side, or how I do this side even. I feel like having a batting would have been nice to help give a smooth or soft touch, maybe smooth out some of the imperfections, but here we are. It's totally fine for what it has to do. So now I'm going to go ahead and staple around the edges just to kind of pull them and hold them in place. Okay, so I've gone around, stapled everything. It is not the most perfect looking thing ever, and luckily like a lot of this stuff just kind of wipes off. I take a damp cloth to it, but it's gonna do the job, and that's all that matters to me. So I got these cup holders off of Amazon, and I went ahead and spray painted the rim gold. This should hopefully match the gold that's in diamond, and they should just be a nice snug fit. Take a little extra. When in doubt, hammer it out. That one went on easier. And then this is the tray that I designed and had my husband 3D print for me. And there's actually some cork that's like sticky back cork that I had laying around. And I printed that black so that things like my phone and everything won't just slide around on the plastic. So go ahead and install this too. So that should do it. And the next step is just to install it into Diamond. Okay, so now I'm at the storage unit. Let's go ahead and see how this thing fits in Diamond. It actually fits pretty nicely. Now the real test is to see how it will fit my Plymouth Fury mug that I got off Etsy a while back, and I haven't been able to carry in Diamond because I haven't had cup holders. So let's test that out. Okay, so fits pretty good. It wobbles a little bit, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how this looks, even with its imperfections, which may or may not bug me, who knows. But now I have cup holders and a place to put my wallet and my phone when I'm driving so that they don't just slide across the seat. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and click the like button, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to my channel for future updates, craft projects related to the cars, things like that. And yeah, until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.